Welcome to the Urban Blackboard, the program that brings you glimpses of urban life and tries to show you the lessons those glimpses teach us. This is downtown Paterson on a cool and cloudy late winter afternoon. People are gathered to march in protest of President Donald Trump's anti-immigration ban. A week earlier, President Trump sat in Washington and crafted an executive order that limited travel to the U.S. for people primarily of Muslim origin.
And this is the protection of the nation from foreign terrorist entry into the United States. We all know what that means. Protection of the nation from foreign terrorist entry into the United States. That's big stuff.
And with that, Donald Trump plunged the nation into another level of turmoil as the impact of the ban began to ripple throughout the world. The order blocked the entry of people for 90 days from 7 majority Muslim countries: Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. Legal residents overseas were caught up in the post-signing confusion. Additionally, it has suspended the country's entire refugee admission system for 120 days, suspended the Syrian refugee program indefinitely. It temporarily banned entry of dual nationals who are from those 7 countries but have an additional passport from an unbanned country for 90 days. It prioritized refugee claims on the basis of religious persecution as long as the applicant belongs to a religion that is a minority in their country of origin. And finally, the order cut in half the total number of refugees accepted from any country. As a result of this ban, many individuals with valid visas were trapped in foreign airports on their way into the country, some of whom were fleeing certain death if caught. Protests broke out all over the United States, starting at airports as people flocked there in a show of support.
Has really grown in size. Hundreds of people out here peacefully protesting.
We will not turn away children. We will not turn away children. We will not turn away families. We will not turn away families. No bans, no walls, no bans.
The power of the people is greater than the people in power.
Donald Trump said, Donald Trump said, no hate, no fear. Refugees are welcome here. The Muslim ban has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, let them in.
Subsequently, Americans all over the country took to the streets to express their outrage at this latest, most divisive of executive orders. Protesters hit the streets in more than 30 cities across the country, including New York City, Boston, Chicago, Philadelphia, Detroit, Washington, and Los Angeles. The following Sunday, an interfaith group came together in the city of Paterson and added their voices to the crescendo reverberating across the country. New Jersey's third largest city featured a crowd of thousands who assembled at the Federal Building on Clark Street at Hamilton Plaza.
Assalamualaikum, everyone. We're going to pray our new prayer right now.
Imam Mohammed Watnani of the Islamic Center of Passaic County, located in the east side of Paterson, led the growing crowd in prayer. Imam Watnani, a well-known local personality, is currently embroiled in his own fight against deportation. Federal authorities reopened a charge against him for allegedly lying on his green card application about a conviction in Israel for reportedly being a Hamas member. Imam Watnani vehemently denies the Hamas membership charge, though he does admit being detained by the Israeli government. He reported that Israel routinely detained Palestinians for periods of time without official charge. He says that he was never officially indicted or convicted, but rather eventually released. 8 years previously, when the charges were initially leveled, a federal judge ruled in his favor. But as seemingly zealous federal authorities appealed the decision, he must now resume the fight for his residency. Soon, an expanding group of dignitaries, including Senator Cory Booker, Senator Robert Menendez, Mayor Joey Torres, and a host of local and county-level officials joined the crowd, and the march slowly began to take shape.
Why are you here today, Senator?
Because we have to stand in solidarity against injustice. We have to stand with a common chorus of conviction that just says no to what Donald Trump is trying to do to our country and against our Constitution.
Thank you very much.
Heading toward the city's downtown district and on to the historic Paterson Falls, they called for peace and the end of hate and discrimination and the abolition of President Trump's anti-immigration Muslim ban. But this march wasn't strictly about Muslims. Paterson and the surrounding area has a large population of illegal immigrants with a wide variety of ethnicities, and they too felt threatened by President Trump's actions. A large contingent of Latino and Latino groups were in attendance. Bengali and a variety of Arabic members from the area were also marching in support. Established religious groups and Black Lives Matter advocates marched alongside Americans of all races, calling for a pushback against this latest immigration policy. As the marchers made their way past the government buildings and businesses that make up the heart of the city's downtown district, familiar chants broke out. The people united will never be defeated. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcomed here. And tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. These standards, common in the earlier protest marches heard all over the country, now reverberated through the streets of Paterson. Here are some of the sights and scenes as the protesters brought their message directly to New Jersey's third largest city and indirectly to the nation's president and the rest of the world.
Immigrants are welcome here, no hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here, no hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here, no hate.
Refugees are welcome here. No hate. Woo! Everybody's there.
brothers and neighbors. And that's what you're seeing today. Thank you. Appreciate it.
From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have got to go.
Yes.
Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have got to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have got to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have got to go. From Palestine to Mexico, all the walls have got to go.
Just hold on that sidewalk.
Mexico. What do you want? Justice. What do you want? What do you want? Justice. What do you want? If we don't get it, shut it down. 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 What do we want? Justice. What do you want? Now. What do we want? Justice. What do you want? Now. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down.
Here today.
Why am I here today?
Absolutely.
Because it couldn't be more important to show unity, to stand with my friends and neighbors, regardless of who they are and what their background is. We're all Americans, and this is the time to show it right now. No time to wait. It's got to be done right now, and we're going to do it today.
Thank you, Mayor.
I think you should put the banner on the other side of the stand.
Let's start. Stand up strong. Come on. What up?
Why are you here, Mayor? Why are you here today, Mayor?
We're here today in solidarity to help Muslim brothers and sisters, recognizing that we're all one.
Refugees are welcome here. Shut it down!
Upon reaching Overlook Park at the falls, the dignitaries mounted a large platform and gave a series of speeches to those gathered there.
We have with us today, of course, our entire New Jersey Senate delegation. We're going to start with the senior member who's been a friend of Paterson from day one. Please welcome Senator Bob Menendez.
Assalamu alaikum. To the imams, to the rabbis, to the clergy, to all my fellow elected officials, I wanted to be here today because I realize that I cannot be free if you are not free. I cannot realize freedom if you cannot realize freedom. I cannot be free to worship at the church I choose if you cannot be free to worship at the mosque that you choose. America has never been built on walls. It was built on freedom, and that is what we celebrate here today. This country, at the very beginning of its inception, way before it was a country, was settled by those who were seeking religious freedom. It is the roots of who the nation is, and it is who we are and have been as a beacon of light to the rest of the world. And I want to be brief. It is cold out here, but I feel the warmth and the heat and the goodness and the love from this crowd. It is such a point of pride for me to stand here and look out at all of you, because this is what democracy looks like. This was organized today by a coalition. Beautiful. This was organized. Please remember the truth of snowflakes. Each one individually is beautiful, but together we can make an avalanche. I'm just grateful to the organizers that came together, that understood that we must see each other for the truth of who we are. Each and every one of us created in the glory and the image of God. None of us better than the other, but all of us an exclamation, a public exclamation of beauty, of truth, and justice. We live in America today where we recognize that we have at the highest office in the land someone who wants to threaten our peace, who wants to undermine our values, who wants to betray our Constitution. But together, we must always put forth the truth, and the power of the people is greater than that person in power. And so today, I say briefly, I stand with Muslim Americans. I stand with Jewish Americans. I stand with Christian Americans. I stand with all Americans. And I know if we stand together, inshallah, Kizrat Hashem, con la ayuda de Dios, vamos a ganar. We will win.
160 years ago, while this fool embraces those who stamp out liberty, those who put journalists in jail, those who intimidate those who write the truth, we will not let this be our anthem in the United States of America. At least in Russia, that despotism, as Lincoln said, can be pure and without the alloy of hypocrisy. We are not hypocrites. We are all for each other. The government has a right to know who comes into this country. Let's get this straight. We all want to protect America from those buffoons who simply want to murder, and regardless of what reason they give. But we are Americans and we believe in liberty for all or none. God bless you. Thank you.
The message to the new president and his candidate. New president, you have to be a president for all Americans. For all Americans. For Americans who are here and for Americans who are liking to be Americans in the future. Because this is the land of all people who dream in the freedom land, in the land of opportunities, the land of democracy, the land of unity. Anybody is welcome here in America. Syrian refugees came to this city more than 100 years, and they are welcome today. They are welcome today, and no ban, no walls, no wall. We want to break walls, not to build walls, brothers and sisters. We want to break fear, not to build fear. We want to know each other. We want to understand each other. We want to love one another. Anybody who is working for division, for disunity, is not American. He doesn't believe in the American values. Yes, American values are, listen to this, my brothers and sisters, American values are Islamic values, are Christian values, are Jewish values, are Moses' values, Muhammad's values, because these values are the value of justice for all, one humanity, one God. This is the message of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is the message of Moses and Jesus. This is the message of Abraham and Jacob and Isaac. If you don't believe in Jacob or Abraham, if you don't believe in the message of Moses or Jesus, you have to learn again and to understand that the message of unity is the message of all religions and all faiths and all interfaith community leaders.
My father, Juan Torres, was a young immigrant who came to work in the fields of New Jersey. In 1949, he arrived in Paterson with 7 children, and he faced prejudice and difficulties. At one point, he had difficulties in finding an apartment large enough for his family to live. The social services agency at that time resolved on having my brothers and sisters separated to different foster homes. It is not for the courage of my father and the kindness of man who offered to give up his apartment for my father's use, we have never been reunited. So you see, as mayor, as a man, I know firsthand what immigration and migration means. And I don't believe in exclusion. I believe by the words that there is only one race, one human race, mankind. Speaking today.
What does today's turnout mean for you? 2 senators, Pascal, what does that say to you?
Yes, we thank our friends who came together, who stand for justice, for unity, for immigrants, especially our Senator Mr. Menendez, our Senator Mr. Booker, our Congressman, and also the mayors of Passaic County, and also the freeholders, the councilmen and women, and also members of Board of Education and other our friends from different faiths. We thank them. I think this is the message which we received today, and we want to send it for the country, for Washington, D.C., to hear our voice, that no ban, no walls. We want to break walls. We want to build bridges between countries, especially our neighbors, especially between neighbors. Mexico is the neighbor of our country, so we want Mexico to be a part of our bridges, or to work with them for their people, for our people. This is the message which we want to send, not only for Syrian refugees or Arabs or Black Lives Matter. No racism. We are all one. We want to work together. Thank you.